Welcome back, guys, to the next edition of the NKAA Entertainment Video Game Podcast. You have Mr. Psycho here with Wheezy.
How's it going?
Some Cuban guy.
What up?
Lil Haiti.
Yo.
And Enforcer.
Hello.
Today we have a pretty good show for you guys. We're going to talk about... Well, actually, we're going to let Che finish his Madden 2018 review.
Who?
Lil Haiti, sorry.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Enforcer is going to talk about the most recent South Park game. We're going to talk about Destiny 2, PC and console, upcoming DLC. We're going to talk about Mario Odyssey. We're going to talk about the Switch. We're going to talk about the Xbox One X. We're going to talk the dreaded microtransaction system. And we're going to talk about Injustice and fighting games and guest characters as a whole. So let's go ahead and get started.
Alright, so last time we were here, I gave a brief synopsis because I had just opened Madden and then life happened. But, played through Madden. It's been a sensational ride. The, franchise mode is indeed the best franchise mode I've played in, 17 different Madden iterations over the years. It's been a lot of fun. Madden Ultimate Team, and this is going to tie into the microtransaction discussion and coming up.
Seriously?
Yeah.
There's microtransactions in Madden?
Yeah.
It's made by EA.
That's true, but I did not expect it to be in Madden. That's so weird.
EA Sports.
Me and Chris was blown away by this.
You want the good playbook? Give us money.
No, but that's exactly what it is.
Pretty much.
Wow, that is crazy.
They've had that Madden Ultimate Team since, I think, 2009 or 2010, and they've been charging for it ever since then. Like, people just don't talk about it much because it's not a necessary part of the game. You're essentially playing fantasy football in your Madden game, but to buy good characters, you actually have to buy them.
That's crazy.
So you're telling me that people are playing fantasy football in a fantasy football video game?
And
paying
money for it.
So instead
more or less.
My mind is blown by this.
So
I legit did not know this. I don't play Madden, man. I had no idea this was a thing.
Randomly assembling a team that you can play against other people in their randomly assembled teams online.
But if you want to win, you got to lay that cash down so you can get the John Elways, the Dan Marinos, the Randy Mosses, the Mo Jacksons.
So you're telling me there's people...
Either that or you wait and actually play your way through the 27 million different kinds of challenges to upgrade your team, which will probably take several months.
So what do you get for winning these leagues? Do you get anything?
Some of the competitions online, you enter into different tournaments in
But are there like money? Like you can win money from it?
I think the last pot I saw was $150,000.
Oh, okay.
So
is it like EA sponsors them or okay? Well, I mean, that's the thing. But there's probably people there that like spend like hundreds of dollars to get like
to get there.
Like Dan Marino and then John Elway is your backup. Like
I can see that happening. There's packs that
this is mind blowing.
Blows my mind. I did not know that was such a thing.
Yeah, it's tragic. It's tragic, but if you don't
so besides all that,
the Ultimate Team is still fun if you go about it the hard way. The Ultimate Team is still fun. The franchise mode is fun. A long shot. I went back and I played it again, and my argument remains that a little bit more originality, a little bit more input would work, but I realized a lot of your decisions play more into the end result than I thought. Like, regular decisions in everyday conversation will eventually pay off more than I initially thought. So they made the long shot mode very intricate without letting you know how much your decisions affect everything. Sneaky bastards.
So,
but it's still fun.
Like 2 months ago, you gave a quick overview of this game.
I did.
Does it still hold to what you felt before, or is it better than what you said?
It's better because...
Except for when they want to take your money.
Except for when they want to take your money,
How's the online? Have you played like any online?
Yeah, I played online. It works out pretty well. The presentation in game is pretty good.
Are the connections and stuff
No,
good?
connection is perfect. Connection's all good.
That's
It's
good.
probably the
So no
best.
glitching.
I know,
No,
like in past iterations, like one of the biggest things was like people leaving early, like people disconnecting.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff like
if
that.
people leave,
Rage
they'll just tell
quitting.
you won.
Okay, so but is there like a punishment system for leaving early, or
I haven't left early, so I don't know about the punishment. But I know when they leave, it's like, all right, your opponent is quick. Congratulations, you win. It's pretty much what happens.
Oh, okay, and there's like a ranked mode and stuff like that.
There is that, yeah. They have online Ultimate Team seasons where the team you build from the cards and everything, you play against other people online, and it's a ranked system. So it's a very interesting thing.
Before we move on from Madden and get to South Park, I want to add something that I read recently. EA is supposedly leaning very heavily towards getting rid of the yearly Madden model.
Oh,
And
I
instead,
did see about
they will
that.
release a new Madden game every 2 to 3 years, possibly even every 4 years, and you would just pay yearly upgrade fees of like $20, $30 to get the new teams, to get the new people, to get any kind of updates to the stadium,
to just get
or
like
gameplay.
updated rosters. And
Essentially,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Okay.
Y'all remember the scene at the end of Revenge of the Sith where Vader wakes up for the first time, everything starts shaking? No! That's my reaction to that news.
That's
Hold on.
stupid.
Hold on.
That's
That's
actually
better
good
model.
news.
Hold
No,
on,
it's
but-
not.
So instead of spending
The
instead of spending $60 to $70 every year buying the exact same game you just had, they're gonna let you buy the one game and then every year release basically a DLC with the new plays, new
How is
teams,
that bad?
updated system for a fraction of the price.
Football's different from other games, man.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's not.
yeah,
What
but
are you
like-
do? Improve the graphics so you can see the blades of grass better?
But that's exactly why they're thinking about doing it, because they said that they can't upgrade the game engine every year.
Right.
And if they work on making little improvements, like let's work on animation this year, let's work on this year, they can go 3 or 4 years without releasing another game and then say, here, for $20, here's all your new rosters, here's whatever improvement we focused on this year, here's these new animations.
Yeah, see, I don't
In-
trust EA to do that.
But in all reality, I mean, that type of model would be awesome for like even wrestling games.
And
Yeah, it should be for
definitely
wrestling
would be,
games.
yeah.
Because
Every
every
year
year,
that works better for wrestling. games
every year
'cause
you pay, get the new talent, new moves,
I
new
don't-
this.
I don't
we've
trust
essentially.
EA.
I don't know if you guys read the article, but we've essentially been playing the same game that's come out since WCW NWO World Tour. Like it's the same exact engine.
I beg to differ.
No, it is. It's like the grapple system, the strike system, running.
Well, the newer ones, I would say,
Or
the
horrible.
grapple system, the strike system is horrible.
It's
They
a little-
tried
it's-
to change it.
Yeah,
but
it's
terrible.
more intricate, but it's essentially the same kind of system though.
Yeah, I can't play
Like the
it.
same base system of just grappling, do a move. It's
Oh
it's,
you're
Yeah.
right on that. But I can't play like the new games with their grappling system. It's too slow.
No,
I hate
like,
it.
yeah,
I can't do it.
It doesn't flow as well as like say No Mercy did
Oh,
or something like that.
Since you brought this up, and I don't want to get too off track, but I do want to say that it's one of the things that I miss a lot about gaming. I cannot enjoy wrestling games, and I haven't enjoyed them since 2K took over them. Like, I just can't find any joy in them. I try to play them every year. I try every year, and every year it's just another big disappointment,
It's just
and
'cause-
it frustrates
Yeah,
me.
it's just because they don't feel natural like they used to. Like it just like
And they're not
movements-
fun.
It's just not fun. Yeah,
They're just not fun. Even when crappy things used to happen, like even when there were almost game breaking glitches. Remember, and I think we might have brought this up before, but there was a time when we're playing online with one another, and Undertaker just grabs Wheezy from across the ring. Like Undertaker's outside on the ground, Wheezy's in the ring, and Undertaker all of a sudden he's immediately across the ring, grappling him for a choke slam.
Darth Taker, son of a bitch.
But even when things like that would happen, the games were still fun. And now they might be technologically superior, but there's no fun. There's no heart, soul, or
they
anything.
just feel too slow. It's really what it is. Just the gameplay wise, they're just really slow. But yeah, but back to the whole Madden changing the format. Che, I don't understand why do you think that's a bad idea?
It's a bad idea because I'm an old man. I'm stuck in my ways. But the more I think about it, my initial reaction may have been a bit over Dramatic.
Yeah, because
You over dramatic? Never. Yelling no into your microphone loud as shit.
Yeah, granted, I understand where you're coming from. The EA is the evil company and blah blah blah. But
I mean, I don't really trust them to make the proper upgrades year by year, but whatever. Let's give it a shot. Instead of paying $60 for 5 upgrades, I'll pay $30 for 5 upgrades. So I'm with it.
Because you're essentially just been getting superficial upgrades for the past I don't know how many years.
More or less. 7 or 8 years. More or less.
So
I guess I'm kind of just stuck on the fun of opening new Madden, like, booyah, put it on the shelf.
Like
Madden 20, 22, 23, all in the line. There we go. That's part of the fun of it. Sort of like collecting. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
The game's still fun. I recommend you go out and cop that shit. It's great.
Cop that shit, folks. Cop it.
Those of you who understand, that means buying the game. Go out
Oh, yes. I apologize. To our intrepid listeners, please go purchase a copy of Madden 18. You will enjoy it.
That's the second time you use Intrepid today.
Nah, the first time I said impertinent.
Oh, touche.
Psycho, you.
Okay, well, let's move on from that, and we will continue over to South Park.
So,
Mr. Enforcer.
last month, South Park: The Fractured Butthole finally made its debut, and is as good as advertised, if not better. If you played South Park: Stick of Truth, South Park: Stick of Truth changed RPGs as they were. This game just kind of takes that and keeps running with it. You're basically playing one gigantic South Park episode, and it is hilarious the entire way.
Haven't their past 2 games been like the Stick of Truth and whichever one came out before that?
There was no other one before that. The South Park: Stick of Truth was the first one in the series.
And what was the second one?
Is The Fractured Butthole, which just came out.
Oh, really? I thought you were sure there was another South Park game.
Well, there was for the N64, but it was
No, I'm not talking about
No,
that.
it wasn't.
It was like one was like Lord of the Rings style.
That's
Stick of Truth.
Stick of Truth.
I could have sworn the other one was I guess the Fractured Butthole one's like Avengers.
I could
have sworn I saw that years ago.
What you're thinking of is the fact that Fractured Butthole has been delayed for the past 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Stick of Truth came out in 2015, I think. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The long-awaited debut.
Gotcha. So
it got delayed.
I could have sworn I saw the superhero version of the game because at the time they had the storyline in the show lined up with the superheroes also. I was like, oh, they're doing with the storyline.
I think it changed developers, didn't it? Or is it the same? It's still Ubisoft.
Still Ubisoft.
Okay.
They didn't want to put it out and have it be the way it was. Apparently there were things that needed to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
And they went back, they polished everything, and I mean the game itself is amazing.
What are some of the best aspects? Because did you play Stick of Truth or no?
I played Stick of Truth.
So what are some of the I guess the upgrades from Stick of Truth compared?
They changed the turn-based combat. The turn-based system in this game is a lot different. I wouldn't say a lot different. It's somewhat different from Stick of Truth in that there's different patterns for your attacks now and the way that they move. The combat system in general, the turn-based system can change based on you can attack the person out in the world beforehand, and it gives you an advantage in your turn-based system.
And there's a lot of because I seen I personally haven't played it. I do want to play it.
Yeah.
But I've seen tons of videos on it, and it looks awesome. The combat system looks awesome because it takes a lot more strategy. There's a lot more position-based stuff. There's different attacks that move you around. There's supers. There's ultimate attacks. I guess
ultimate attacks. You build up a meter through your attacks, and it gives you an ultimate move. And the best thing so far that I found was you pick your class at the beginning. It's just like with the other one. You pick your class at the beginning. Each class has 4 different moves plus the ultimate. So
how many different powers can you get?
There's 8. As far as I know, there's 8 different throughout the game. The first you start off, I think there's 3 different ones you can pick from. But as the game progresses, you can pick from a total of 8. And
so you can change as the game progresses? Or?
As the game progresses, it gives you different options. And you can mix and match moves.
Oh.
So you can match moves from one to the other and vice versa.
That's badass.
And the story wise, it's your typical South Park episode, but it's basically like a 16-hour South Park episode.
Nice.
And the jokes that you would expect in a South Park episode are in this. All the characters that you would expect from a South Park episode are in this. I mean, pretty much everybody from the town makes some type of appearance in the game itself.
Yeah.
And the story is just bonkers. I mean,
it's typical South Park.
Yeah, it starts off with some stupid little thing, and it ends up this massive, climax at the end of the world possibly ending or some crap like that. So, but overall, like I said, I beat the game. I've done pretty much everything you could do on it, and I love it. I can't wait. And I know there's going to be another one, and I can't wait for it.
Now, the important question: does South Park have microtransactions?
It is Ubisoft, so there is an Ubisoft store that's separate from the game itself. But you can earn points in that just by doing stuff. Like I had somehow or another, I guess from playing, must have been from playing Black Flag and the other Assassin's Creed, I had built up points.
Oh, is it the Uplay stuff?
Yeah, the Uplay stuff.
Yeah. That's like every Ubisoft game has that.
But I was able to buy everything for this game just by the stuff that I had built
even
up over time.
Even on PC, like you have to get the Uplay launcher to even like be able to play Ubisoft games. Which is annoying. It's super annoying, especially since I can buy the games on Steam.
Yeah,
but I have to have the Uplay loader to even like do it. I mean, at least that's how it used to be. I haven't played
Ubisoft game. And it's definitely not pay to win. It's the stuff that's in there is strictly cosmetic. It's like hair things and clothing. And
it's all cosmetic
vanity.
stuff.
It's all vanity stuff. So
it's all cosmetic stuff. That's good.
But overall, like I said, I really thoroughly enjoyed this game. So that's my whole take on it. If you haven't played Stick of Truth, I suggest playing Stick of Truth. You really don't have to, but it does have some things that go back to it.
Isn't like bundled? Isn't like Stick of Truth?
If you buy the Fractured Butthole, you get the Stick of Truth for free. I don't know.
Sounds like a hell of a deal, actually.
Yeah,
that's what before. If you'd bought Stick of Truth, you would get if you pre-ordered Fractured Butthole, you got Stick of Truth for free.
That's how I got it, because I pre-ordered it last year, last November actually, or no, it was during the annual Xbox sale on their store. I actually pre-ordered there because that's when they started advertising that you would get the Stick of Truth for free. So I pre-ordered it there, got the Stick of Truth, played Stick of Truth last year, and was waiting for this one. So that is it as far as the Fractured Butthole.
Okay, so now we're going to move into Destiny 2 talk. We're going to talk a little bit about the PC version release, and we're going to talk about consoles as well, and what the upcoming DLC has to offer, and everything we've heard about recently. Some Cuban guy's going to do most of talking about the PC version. Before we get there, I just want to say I'm completely against the PC version of Destiny 2. I don't think it should exist. I think it's unnecessary in the format that it's in.
You're the
but I apparently am in the minority for that.
You are very much in the minority for that, my friend. But no, as far as because we can really just delve into Destiny for like a whole separate podcast if you wanted to. There's so many things to say about it, as far as both pros and cons since launch. Currently, I think we're all in agreement. We're having a lot of fun with the game, especially when we're playing together. Just a few weeks ago, we completed a full raid, which is a lot of fun. Despite all the frustrations that we had and all the cursing and almost controller throwing, that was
cursing and controller throwing in this group. Never.
Broke my controller.
Particularly by Mr. Psycho. So that was the big one.
Yeah.
No. So surprised your TV screen
had to take multiple conversations, both both like over chat and through and on Facebook Messenger to just get him to actually complete it.
I just want to get shit done.
Yeah. So, but we did get it done. It was super fun. Super rewarding, which is the great thing about the Destiny 2 raids in general, is that they just, when you complete them, you feel it's super rewarding.
Absolutely.
Even though with this one, it's the reward system is not as good as it was in Destiny 1. But like I said, that's a whole another separate topic that we could get into. But yeah, like I said, I mean, we're having a lot of fun with the game. We're playing it a ton. As far as the PC port, PC Destiny 2 is it's like a whole different game. It feels just 60 frames per second, and the field of view slider just make the game just feel like a completely different game. On top of using a mouse and keyboard, with the aiming, because on PC there's no aim assist. So any shots that you do, it's all just skill based. There's no heavy recoil like there is on console. So which is kind of good and bad, because now it makes on PC at least, it makes the kinetic mods, like the kinetic and the energy mods that fix the recoil, makes those kind of useless. So because there's hardly any recoil at all. But as far as PC goes, it looks gorgeous, obviously. And then I know the Xbox One X, they just recently announced all the visual upgrades that Destiny 2 is going to have. So it's going to be almost on par. It's going to have native 4K, which is amazing. It's going to have all the bloom effects and all that stuff that it has on PC. It's going to have on the Xbox One X version. So if you do have an Xbox One X and you don't have Destiny 2 yet, I highly suggest it, because it's an amazing game, super fun. Despite all the haters out there saying, "Oh, there's no end game," and blah blah blah, the end game is there. There's content there. The issue right now with the game is with all the content that's available, like adventures and strikes and all that stuff, there's not really much incentive to do them. So the reward system as it is right now, it's just not rewarding, and it doesn't benefit your character too much to complete all these adventures, to complete these strikes, with your friends. So it's more advantageous to just level your character up, do the raids, and then just play Crucible every so often. It's a lot more of a casual game than say Destiny 1 was, because Destiny 1 there's a lot more end game stuff. But I know that I have faith in Bungie, that they're going to be, especially with the upcoming DLC with Curse of Osiris, there's going to be a lot more content coming that's right around the corner, because Curse of Osiris comes out December 5th. And on top of that, the announcement of Seasons, which I think was a big addition. It's going to greatly benefit the game, greatly benefit the community, because they're going to be doing, all the changes they said, the sandbox changes every season. The content upgrades, new gear, new weapons, all that stuff every season, which is awesome.
I was definitely disappointed that we didn't get Festival of the Lost update.
Yeah,
this year. I really look
I am
forward
too.
to that.
Yeah, I do love that event. That event's super fun. Just running around with your friends, especially what was it? I think the first time I ran was for Taken King. Right, was the first time I had it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I remember it having the Oryx masks and the Atheon masks. Those were super fun.
Yeah.
Just running around those. So yeah, I am kind of disappointed, but at the same time, it's kind of like the same week that it was going on. You had the PC release. They were really focused on that. But we are getting
The Dawning.
You're right, with season 2. So that's gonna be super awesome, because that's another great.
That was a very cool event.
And then of course with the Dawning, most likely we're gonna be having SRL, which is our favorite event. We love SRL.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's especially now with all the different sparrows that you get right off the bat.
Absolutely.
So I know John's got I think you got 1 or 2 exotic sparrows.
I have all of them.
Yeah, I finally got an exotic sparrow on PC. So and I still don't have a freaking exotic emote, which I'm super mad about, especially since they're coming out with the emote wheel, which is amazing, and we've wanted that since Destiny, since they first gave us emotes.
Yeah, there was no reason why you couldn't do more than one.
Yeah, so they're finally giving us an emote, which is coming soon apparently. It's supposed to be with the update, the December 5th update. I thought. No, I think before that. I think we're gonna get it even before that. They said it's gonna be coming up within the next few patches.
Right,
so that's gonna be awesome, having an emote wheel, because I have a ton of emotes that I want to use.
Yeah.
I have Floss Dance and all these other cool ones, but I can't.
So I have, I missed out on the first year of Destiny 1, because when I played the demo of Destiny 1, I wasn't very impressed. It was very cool the first time I played it. The second time I played it, the third time I played it, it got less cool. It was more boring. So I didn't buy the game during the first year. But during the second year, when they bundled it with Taken King and all the DLC and all the upgrades, I bought it. But the point of this part of the conversation is, for the first time, I am now max level. As far as light, well, it was light in the first game, now it's power or whatever it is. But
it's always going to be light level for us.
Yeah, so, I actually hit max, which was very cool, because I hadn't done that before. I'm just waiting for something new to happen. My issue with Destiny 2 is the same issue that I had with Destiny 1, which is I get frustrated that there is not a better system in place for drops and exotics. I understand that it's all RNG based, but I don't know how many of one exotic gun I need before it gives me one I've never gotten. Right? So in the first Destiny game, I went 2 years never getting a hard light. Ever. And I had lots and lots of exotics, and I never got one. And this game, it seems to be the same thing, because I have had lots and lots of exotics that I have decrypted and not gotten a hard light, but I've gotten 4 or 5 of those Fang pauldrons for the Titan. I've gotten 3 cold hearts, not including the one that I got when I beat the game.
I can fill the entire vault with the amount of cold hearts that I've gotten.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I've gotten the Graviton Lance 3 times now.
Yeah, that is a very, very big issue. But Bungie has addressed, saying that in a future update that exotics are going to have a lot less of a chance of dropping if you already have it. Yeah. So they are fixing that issue. Like I said, it's just a multiple. It's a multitude of things that it basically is just showing us that Bungie is listening to us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I want to give credit where credit is due, because it seems with Destiny 2 at least that Bungie is a lot more responsive to the criticism that they're getting. Because in Destiny 1, there were things that needed to be fixed. They heard about them, they acknowledged it. But they're like, we're not worried about it. We're not
because they were too focused on making Destiny 2 early.
Yeah, and now they're actually listening to what people are saying, which is good. We just need more to do, and like you said, there needs to be a reason for us to do it. Yeah, It's great. You put all these adventures on our map, but what do I get for beating it? Because I don't get any decent gear.
Exactly. You don't get any gear for
it. Yeah,
it's all lore based.
Exactly. So why am I going to play this? Now, if you have me doing those adventures to get Bright Dust, for instance, that I can then use in the Eververse shop to buy something, then absolutely I will do every one of them. And it doesn't have to be a giant size amount of Bright Dust. Give me a medium-sized gift.
Even
or
like
a
extra,
small
even like
gift.
more XP than you would in doing normal things.
Yeah.
If you get like say if adventures gave you like 3 or 4 times XP that you normally get doing like say public event, we absolutely do them, because especially during the Clarion Call event that's coming up, where we're gonna get double XP, which is I think it's next weekend actually, starts next Friday. We'd absolutely be doing I love the adventures. I've played some of them. They're awesome. I don't know if you've done the one on IO where it's like the music boxes.
No.
Yeah, like that one's super cool, and like they all tie into the lore, and they also tie into future expansions. Like there was one adventure on Nessus that ties into the raid that talks about like Catalyst coming to Nessus and trying to like devour the planet and stuff like that. So but like lore wise they're cool, but like John said, there's just not any reason to do them.
Well, and then it's like it's easy to look for stuff now on the maps, but you still have to go to those planets and go and start them up, and it's not like it's right in front of you. It's that kind of out of the way,
Yeah, and to be honest, with Destiny, I log in every week. I do my weekly challenges, and then once those are done, I'll play if other people need something done. Like, hey, we're gonna hop on Crucible. Want to hop on? Sure, I'll hop on. You wanna play the raid this week? Sure, absolutely, I'll play. You need an extra person? Yeah. But once my weekly resets are done, if no one else is going to play, I'm not hopping on to Destiny 2 to play by myself.
There's no reason to like grind for anything because there's nothing to grind for. Like, there's no... If Strikes had, like they had in Destiny 1, if they had Strike-specific loot, we'd absolutely be playing Strikes nonstop to try and get that loot. Because in Destiny 1, the Strike loot was freaking awesome. It was cool. It looked cool. The guns were awesome. Like, and they were really rare drops. So there was a reason to grind Strikes. And then once you got those drops, it felt rewarding. And in this one, it's like, we don't get that feeling because all the legendary and exotics that you get, they're all random. So they're all random rolls.
And then with the 3 of coins, with the strikes in the first game. You could give yourself a better opportunity to get an exotic using the 3 of coins, but they got rid of that.
Plus the Vanguard boost too, where it would up your chances of getting loot for like continuous strikes when you did them in a row.
So 2 more things to mention with Destiny 2. We have the upcoming DLC. We touched on that a little bit. There's going to be new story missions. A lot of people are predicting probably a new raid.
There's new raid content is what they've said.
Yes.
That's the big issue is, what does raid content mean? Because they didn't outright say there's a new raid. So there's a lot of speculation going on as to what new raid content. Now, obviously, we're going to find out because they have the 3 Twitch streams coming up during the month of November, where they're going to show off all the content of Curse of Osiris. But I think, and I really hope it's true, but I think it's going to be an upgraded version of Vault of Glass, which would be awesome.
I'd like to see some updated first game raids.
Yeah, because Vault of Glass is still to this day my all-time favorite raid. I love Vault of Glass. But and if they have like an updated version of it, it would make sense for the lore because Osiris has a lot to do with the Vex. And we're going to Mercury. Yeah. So, and we're going to have, like a new social space in Mercury. So new patrols, new adventures, all that stuff. New strikes, a new, social hub in the lighthouse, which is cool. And then like new Crucible maps and all that stuff, and obviously new loot. So there's going to be a bunch of content there. So, but like I said, the key thing they're upping the level caps too to 25, and then the power level to 330.
I thought it was 335.
Well, it's 335 with mods. Okay. So if all your gear is modded, you get 335. But yeah, I mean, so they're gonna have more stuff, but the issue is, are they gonna bring us stuff that's gonna have us keep going to it? So I know they're updating Iron Banner, which is good. That was like one of the key complaints because Iron Banner is one of the premier events that Destiny's had. Everybody loves Iron Banner. Everybody used to.
What frustrated me with Iron Banner is the same thing that frustrates me with the faction rallies.
Yeah, it's what the loot system in general. It's a token system.
Like, you're turning in these tokens, but you're not guaranteed anything. At least in Destiny 1, when you did the Iron Banner, at this level you're going to get this, at this level you're going to get that, at this level you're going to get that. And I think it was like at level 1 you get something, level 3, and at level 5 you get specific drops. You knew what those drops were going to be. Mm-hmm. But I must have played 60, 70, maybe even 80 matches of Iron Banner when they first had it for Destiny 2. I got a helmet and a chest piece.
Yep. It was the same
I didn't get arms, I didn't get boots, I didn't get a mark, and it's frustrating.
Yeah. It's the same deal with the faction rally. I mean, the faction, you're not guaranteed a full set.
Yeah.
And it's super frustrating, especially on console, not so much because it's the second one, but on PC, we're only getting one faction rally until season. So we only have one chance of getting all the stuff that you want. And on top of that, the loot pool is even more diluted because we still have the weapons from the first one in there. So you can actually still get weapons from the first faction rally in the second one. So now we have an even wider pool.
Well, the weapons are the same for the most part. They only added in 1 or 2.
No, they each faction had there was an additional 4 weapons that was added to the loot pool.
Okay.
So it's like you have those on top of the old weapons from the first faction rally plus the gear. So it's like you have even less of a chance to get the gear that you want now.
What frustrates me is the way the faction rally system works because...
Well, right now it's broken because of the cheese.
Well, what I'm saying is it frustrates me that I pledged Dead Orbit first because I liked their orbit during the first... Or I liked their armor during the first faction rally. So that's why I pledged them, and luckily I got it all. But this time, the armor was exactly the same. And I also like the new Monarchy armor, and I really like the Iron Man shader for new Monarchy, so I pledged to them. But Dead Orbit has an awesome auto rifle that I want. And unlike
the Guiding Star, that one's awesome. I want that one too.
Unlike most people, I don't make multiple characters, so I have one character. So now my choices were to either go back to Dead Orbit and hopefully get that one gun and miss out on everything else, or choose a different faction. And
you're like taking a gamble on just like one gun. There's no guarantee you're going to get that gun.
The gun should be the same in every in every faction. It should be a pool of guns. Listen, in this faction rally, here are all the guns you could get. Right? And of course they'll look a little bit different based on, the color scheme and everything. But they should understand that people want shaders, people want armor, and the guns should be the same. You should have the one gun that should be different is the gun that you have access to if that faction wins.
But you got to understand from their perspective, they want it to be a competition. So you're going to make every faction different for a specific reason.
Yeah, but
people are going to want certain things.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's what the main gun at the end. Like, if this faction wins, you get this weapon. That would do that enough.
Yeah. It would do that if they made those weapons good, but those weapons are trash. So it's like this faction rally has been more pointless than the first one.
Exactly,
because all the weapons that you get are trash.
Yeah, none of them are better than the raid gear.
Yeah. So it's like there's like no it's like completely pointless. But I mean, the main thing that would like fix all of that is just having it so that we can buy what we want. Just have it like how it was.
Yeah.
So just have it so there's a progressive system that we can get it.
That's it. So we should probably move on from Destiny 2.
Yeah,
because we can talk about this
we can talk about this forever.
And we're going to go to continuous loop.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about microtransactions later. Just want to let you know, Destiny 2 also has them.
Yeah.
They work a little differently. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about Mario Odyssey on the Switch.
Yes.
I think amongst the five of us that are here, I'm the only one that has Mario Odyssey. I got it the day it came out. I played it for days. I mean, I played the game for days because it's just a lot of fun. The story was... I don't want to say it was a letdown because it's a Mario game. The story is not necessarily why you play a Mario game.
Right.
For a Mario game, especially since Mario 64, the point of playing the game isn't the story, it's the gameplay.
Yeah, it's the exploration.
And it does not disappoint. Mario Odyssey is a fantastic game. It calls back to all the other Mario games that you loved when you were younger. And one of the things that I loved most about Mario Odyssey is there are things you can do in Mario Odyssey that the game doesn't tell you can do. The only way you know you can do them is because you played the original Mario games. So there are certain enemies that are in Mario Odyssey that are essentially the same enemies they were on the NES Mario games, and this game doesn't tell you how to beat them. So,
what enemies are there?
Give us an example.
Yeah.
All right. So the Hammer Bros are one of them,
uh-huh.
right? So there are two different versions of the Hammer Bros in the sense that you have two perspectives in Mario Odyssey. There are parts of the world where you go and you're flat like you are a 2D game.
Yeah.
And you're playing a classic Mario game. And then there are the 3D sections where you are encountering these enemies there as well. And they have a different moving pattern. They do different things. It works differently. But you can get them from underneath, which is not something that they talk about. Like, most of the time when you're in the 3D world, it's best for you to throw your hat at something to try to take it over instead of just trying to kill it, right? If you try to jump on a Hammer Bro in the 3D world, chances are they're going to throw a hammer at you, take away your life. You're going to take a hit, maybe 2 hits before you get to them. But if you can swing around and come from underneath them, you can get the jump on them. It's little things like that. The chain chomps as well work in a similar fashion, but it's also flips and wall kicks and all these things that you learn to do in Mario 64 that they don't really talk to you about. How you can chain together different jumps from, you have the dive into the wall kick, into the backflip, into the long jump, so you can explore areas that you otherwise wouldn't reach. I have not collected all of the moons.
Isn't there like 999?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard that there are 999
Which
units.
is absurd.
I think I have 350.
Yeah, that's
So I'm
absurd.
nowhere
Man.
close to getting them all. But this game...
I don't think anybody's gotten them all.
No, there are a couple people who have 100% of the game already.
Wow, that's crazy.
And this game is just so much fun. Everything is fun. There are very few parts that I experienced that were incredibly frustrating. And the ones that I did, it was mostly me making mistakes and getting frustrated at myself.
Well, I heard it's like super forgiving. Like there's not really.
You don't die.
Yeah.
You can't die. What happens is when you lose all your life energy, it just takes 10 coins away from you.
And what happens if you run out of coins?
Why? I don't know. I've never run out of coins, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happens when you run out of coins, but I don't think it'll ever be an issue. I can't imagine you running out of coins. You get coins so frequently. So, overall, I would recommend Mario Odyssey to everybody, and I completely understand why people are saying it should be up there in consideration for Game of the Year. It's also...
Probably will win Game of the Year, I think. So, just so many people are...
See, it's interesting because I would still give it to Breath of the Wild.
You still think Breath of the Wild is better?
I would still give it to Breath of the Wild because of what it did to reinvent the Zelda franchise. Mario Odyssey is the next evolution of Mario. But that formula hasn't strayed much in the main series games from Mario 64. I mean, you have Mario 64, which revolutionized 3D gaming. Then you had Mario Sunshine. Then you had Mario Galaxy. And you had Mario Galaxy 2. And now you have Mario Odyssey. It's the same thing in the line. They play the same way. They handle the same way. It's an amazing game, and not to take anything away from it. But Breath of the Wild made such a big change, such a break from Zelda tradition, that if I were choosing, I would choose Breath of the Wild.
Like, it was like a much bigger risk, basically.
Absolutely.
Like Nintendo was taking a much bigger risk with... Because they completely changed the Zelda formula.
Yeah.
Compared to all other past Zelda games. And I kind of do see your point. I haven't played Mario Odyssey, but I do... For some reason, I want to play it more than Breath of the Wild, just because I haven't played a good... I haven't played, like, a Mario game just in general since, like, Galaxy 2. So, but, yeah, no, I definitely see your point where you're coming from. And I feel like most sites probably will see it the same way. It's really just going to become personal preference, honestly. It's always... All these awards are always super subjective anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's like...
I mean, but how about the surprise hit of the Nintendo Switch? I mean, Nintendo kind of came out of nowhere. People rightfully said the Wii U was a bust. I mean, coming off the Wii, which everyone thought was going to be a bust, but sold so many units.
Yeah.
And then they
I mean, it was really because of Wii Sports. Like, Wii Sports pushed a lot of consoles. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and then they debut the Wii U, and it's met with lackluster reviews. It came out in 2012, November of 2012, and that was Nintendo's next system. And it died a very quick death. I think it would have disappeared sooner if it hadn't have been for Smash Brothers. Because Mario Kart 8 was good, but you couldn't play it with more than 2 people because then it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was a horrible looking game. It was a horrible experience. And what people wanted, at least, you know, when we talk about games and our circle of friends, Mario Kart 64 was the Mario Kart game. I mean, you could have 4 people playing. The game didn't slow down. It didn't look any worse. It was really good. You get to Mario Kart 8, it's supposed to be a better console, a faster, more powerful console. And if you had any more than 2 people, the game slowed down a lot. It looked blocky.
Yeah, the frame
textures were terrible. Frame rate was horrible. And it just was almost unplayable.
Especially in fast CCs, the game was unplayable. So.
But then you look at Smash Brothers, and you could have 8 people on the stage battling one another. And I think that's what kept the Wii U alive. That and the creation of Amiibos kept the Wii U going probably an extra year and a half longer than it should. But I guess out of that, Nintendo decided to take the idea they had for the Wii U and actually go all the way with it and make the Switch and actually make it a viable console. It's selling what number did I say earlier? Since March of last year,
It's like 8 million.
it
or something
sold
like that.
between March and September 30th. It sold 7.63 million units, just the console alone, and they're projecting it to sell by the end of 2018 17 million units, which is amazing. They're predicting it's going to sell more than the Wii did. And if they keep up the push that they're making, I believe it absolutely can do it. The pre-order numbers for Doom on the Switch have been incredibly high. The pre-order numbers for Skyrim on the Switch have been incredibly high. I didn't play Skyrim when it came out on the 360. I bought it on the Xbox One, never played it. I'm going to be buying it on the Switch, and that's where I plan to play it, mostly because I want to get the Master Sword and the Hylian Shield and the different Zelda tunics in the game, and I want to have fun running around another game like I'm Link from Zelda. But third-party games are actually selling on the Switch. There's been a narrative for a long time that people don't want any game but a Nintendo game on a Nintendo console. And I would say for a home console, that's probably an accurate statement, because you want the best experience if you're going to put the money down. But the Switch is interesting because I can play it at home, I can take it off the base, carry it around with me, and continue playing the same game and not lose any quality. And that's really where its strength is coming in. I take my Switch with me wherever I go now, and I'm traveling a lot, and it's nice to be able to play something, and when I get wherever I'm going, I'll pop it in the dock and put it up on the TV. It's not a big deal.
I've never even played a Switch. Much less, I don't think I've seen one in person, to be completely honest.
You can literally just walk out to the...
Yeah.
Apparently I could.
There's
Walk out to his living room and see one. But
there's three of them in
three
my
of them,
house.
yeah.
My wife has one, I have one, Enforcer has one, so I'll go get mine right now. You want to look at it?
that is not going to do anything for me.
Let's go.
The only thing I think Nintendo needs to address with the third-party titles is getting the new third-party titles out. They're getting a lot of games that are a couple years old. Skyrim's almost 5 years old. It came out in 2011. No,
2012.
2012. So it's about 5 years old now.
Math.
No, you're right, but I think it's
I was just trying to remember what year it came out.
Math.
I think the companies have to test the water. So, you're not going to put a lot of investment into creating a new game on there when you can just port one of your older games, and if it sells, I think that's what we're seeing, because the companies now are saying, okay, well, we're going to... Capcom, for instance. They're like, you know what? Our games are selling here. We're going to start putting new games on here.
Yeah.
Square Enix is trying to get Final Fantasy 15 to run on the Switch.
Yeah.
They want to put that on
Fantasy
there.
Still a thing?
Unfortunately.
But, to what Harity's saying, or to what Enforcer is saying, we need third-party support for the Switch, at the same time that the third-party games come out on other consoles. So it's just nobody really wants to play Skyrim 5 years after it's already come out. I think 2 years after the was it 1 year after the new edition came out? But yeah, if you get other games, like for example, for Resident Evil, if there's a new Resident Evil that's coming out and they all come out at the same time, including the Switch version, then I think it probably have a little bit more success in terms of the third party games that are coming out for it. So, but I don't know. It's gonna be a time-based thing, because I do think that developers need a little bit more time to develop games on the Switch, because it is a completely different platform than the other two. The other two are basically just computers. So Switch is a little bit more intricate than that.
For the Switch to take the next step that it needs to take, though, Nintendo has to figure out their online stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
They put that app out. It was ridiculous. The fact that you can't talk directly into the Switch when you're playing an online game with your friends is completely ludicrous. You gotta download an app on your phone. You gotta run your phone app. You gotta then talk through that. It makes no sense at all. I should just be able... There's a microphone on my Switch console. You can talk to the Switch and it interact with things in games, but you can't talk to it to communicate with someone when you're playing an online game. Makes no sense. When Nintendo gets that figured out, the Switch can take the next step. But everything so far, we're what? A little less than 9 months into the life cycle of the Switch. It's doing very well. It needs to continue that momentum. And they have some big games coming up, so we'll see how it goes. We'll definitely see how it goes. So, the next thing, I mean, we talked about the Switch. We need to spend a couple minutes talking about the Xbox One X. Wow. It does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean the most. It's
by stuff. What do we mean?
It's definitively the most powerful console on the market. It's literally could do just about anything like a very powerful PC can do.
Can I play music off of it so I can put custom entrance music in video games again?
I mean, you could have done that since the original Xbox. So.
No, actually, the past
the Xbox One
3 WWE games you can't do. Xbox One won't let you play back MP3s.
I don't think that's a. I don't think that's an Xbox
CDs
issue.
like you used to
You
be
can't
able
rip
to.
CDs anymore.
Well, I mean, you could. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't. It doesn't have an MP3 storage playback on it.
Huh. That's weird. Well, I don't know how that would work then. I feel like you would need like a cloud system.
That was one thing that really pissed me off about the Xbox when I got it. The Xbox One. Because I got it in a wrestling game. I couldn't put my own entrance music. Man, that pissed me off.
That's really weird. But yeah. But anyway, but the Xbox One X, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's what's the price point for it? Like $500. Yeah,
it's a PC.
500. I mean, 500 for a very powerful console that's gonna
runs everything natively in 4K.
4K.
That's a good price.
Less than
that upgrades a lot of the older games, giving them just brand new, making them just look brand new visually, including even backwards compatible titles, which is crazy.
So, is it enough of a change that any of you guys who have an Xbox One are going to get this one?
If I had a 4K monitor or television, I absolutely would.
Okay.
I think it's very much worth the investment. If you want to play games at the highest possible quality, you could. And on top of that, it's the same size as an Xbox One S, so it's a lot smaller, very quiet.
It's water cooled.
Yeah, taking it's got a regular.
It's vapor cooled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a chamber inside of it that has liquid that, as it heats up, it evaporates the liquid. The vapor goes through, it cools it, and then it turns back into liquid, gets heated back up, so that it doesn't overheat.
Interesting.
Yeah, and a lot
liquids and electronics,
and a lot of game developers coming out are stating specifically what kind of upgrades that you're going to get in terms of quality, and they're pretty substantial. So I was very surprised at how different the games are going to be looking on Xbox One X compared to Xbox One. I thought it was just going to be like very minor, superficial stuff, but it's very definitive how different the game. Like I was at what's the store called? BJ's. No, I was at BJ's, and they actually had the Xbox One X playing, and it was very surprising how different the game looks on a 4K
so
monitor.
with all the changes and the obvious upgrades it does have, it's essentially just a new system.
No, it's the same system, but it's more powerful, so it can run things. So, for instance, if you look at Gears of War 4, right, you can play that right now on the Xbox One or Xbox One S, and if you had an Xbox One X, you could download an extra 40 gig patch, which would make it run in 4K, which would make it run at a faster frame rate.
Also, loading times are instant.
Yeah. So it's the difference between Lexus and Toyota. It's the same company. It's the same car.
Well, no, but I'm saying it's a new system from Xbox. It has every.
It's an upgraded system.
Yeah, the PlayStation, the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. It's all the PlayStation, but after so many years, they upgrade it. It's more powerful, more of this, more of that.
It plays the
and
same.
It gets bigger and better.
Yeah,
so
but the problem is it plays the same game.
It plays the same exact.
Still
game.
Xbox One. You can play the games on the Xbox One S and play the games on the Xbox.
Okay, no, I get that.
One
I'm just saying, but everything about it is bigger, stronger, and better.
Yeah.
So it's a new console. It just plays those old games. And you have to have the like you said, you have to download the things that make it better for 4K.
Now will play on either system.
But
So
it's
not
still
like
a
they're
new
phasing
system. It just plays it's the same inner workings, that it plays all the same stuff. It's all that, but everything else built around it. It's a brand new system.
Essentially,
It's not just like like the Xbox One S, it got slimmer. Or
All, like,
it's
all
the
the
black
hardware,
version versus
yeah,
the
like,
white version.
if you're talking about
it's
just hardware,
new
then
system.
yeah, it's a new system in
system.
terms of hardware. Then yes.
So
But-
the way Microsoft described it is, it's the console for like the serious gamer and gaming connoisseur. If you
Yeah.
want the best graphics,
Yeah.
you want the ability to play 4K Blu-rays, you want the best gaming experience, this is where you have to go.
Yeah.
And to be honest, to answer the other question that you had, if I did not have a Gears of War themed Xbox One S, I would have the Xbox One X already, and I don't have a 4K TV.
Yeah.
I don't see a reason to not have an Xbox One X,
Like
especially if you don't already have an Xbox
if you
One.
don't already have an Xbox One, then absolutely get an Xbox One.
Spend the extra $100 and
Yeah.
buy the X.
Yeah, there's literally no reason not to.
And even without having a 4K TV, I mean, I have one, but without it, it does the super sampling where it shrinks down the 4K resolution to a 1080p.
So you got an X?
I have a 4K TV. I haven't gotten the X yet.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting to see how the launch went before I went and jumped
Hey,
in.
little Haiti, are you going to buy an X?
I doubt it.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just don't want to get rid of my Microsoft franchise is Gears of War.
I'm probably gonna end up getting an Xbox One X, honestly.
And if
Because I still have an original Xbox One, so I need to upgrade.
what I'm hoping is that next year, when they release Gears of War 5, because it'll be a next year thing, they'll have a bundle that has an Xbox One X that's Gears themed, and I will buy that. But that's what I'm holding off for.
Yeah.
Since I don't have a 4K TV,
And if that doesn't happen, you'll be all right not having one.
one of two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to have the X before I get a 4K TV, or I'm going to get a 4K TV and then get an X. I just don't want to get rid of my Gears of War themed console without having one to replace it with. But as soon as I get a 4K television, I want the best experience. I want to be able to watch the 4K movies that I'm getting. I want to be able to have the best gaming experience. I don't spend money on going out. I don't go to clubs. I don't go, I don't have vices, really. I play video games.
Vice City, son.
That's what I spend my money on, so I want the best experience possible. Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
What's next on the
the
topic?
next thing we need to talk about is microtransactions.
Damn it. I thought we were talking about turtles. All right.
No, so
You're eagerly waiting.
So-
Is Injustice 2 yet? Can we talk about Injustice 2?
I don't play games
we're
much
getting there,
anymore.
man.
I've gotten away from online gaming, and because it's just too much. And it's like the
getting
only
there.
thing on this whole topic that I could really interested in is the damn turtles.
So microtransactions are interesting, and they come in all different forms. I mean, we talked a little bit earlier
evil.
about. Well, I mean, the topic of microtransactions is
It's a touchy one.
So the thing is, we talked a little bit about it when Lil Haiti was talking about Madden and how the Ultimate Team, you can buy stuff so that you can have a better team and compete better early on instead of trying to grind it
Faster, yeah.
out. Destiny 2 has microtransactions. Destiny 1 had microtransactions.
Yeah,
but
but
Destiny
they-
2 has them, and they're pretty much completely cosmetic.
Yeah.
The only thing that you could say is not cosmetic, maybe, are the exotic sparrows, and those just are a little bit faster. But the speed isn't really.
They're just
anything that
mounts.
gives you.
Like they're all they are. Same thing with ships. They're just mounts.
Yeah.
Like they don't do anything different. They get you from point A to point B faster. Maybe the exotic sparrows are a little bit faster, but it's not a huge difference.
No, and
it
there
doesn't
are
make a difference in anything.
And there are some legendary sparrows in the game that go the same speed. So it's not like something is locked behind a paywall.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the reason this becomes such a hot button topic now is, where does it end?
Yeah.
You have developers that are trying to do it the right way in the sense that, hey, we understand people have extra cash, they're going to throw it in to our game, so let's give them some cosmetic things. If they want to spend the money on it, great. If they don't, then they just don't have it, but it doesn't affect gameplay. And then you have developers who are like, okay, here's a multiplayer game. You want to win? You want to be the best here? You got to drop $150 to get this so that you can be the best.
But see, you're asking where does it end? I have a feeling that the only way it can go from here is essentially paying to play. By the minute, by the day, whatever. Like, that's what you're going to get to. Like, oh, I want to play Gears today. Okay, go on. You have to put a credit card in it to play that for the day. Almost like pay-per-view, where you get it for the day. And that's like, where else can they go? That's the only place they can go to, and then it'll kill everything.
Microtransactions in general, it comes back to the whole gambling aspect of it. It's been ruled
that's
now
with loot boxes. That's with mainly with loot boxes.
It's the same.
Well, not because not all games have that loot box mechanic.
Because and like all of EA's games, I actually watched a stream earlier of.
EA's the main culprit. EA's the main reason why we're bringing
Need for Speed Payback is the biggest culprit of it right now. They literally have a slot machine for their microtransactions. So basically, for you to get parts for your car, whether it's the header, the block, nitrous, brakes, anything, you have part tokens, and you essentially pull a slot machine and roll a card with a number on it, whether it's 1 through 10 or whatever.
No whammies.
Yeah, and most of the time you're going to get a whammy. So,
and this is on top of a full price game.
On top of a $60 game. You know, it's nuts to see this kind of stuff happening.
Pay to win systems. The whole reason they even started is because they became accepted with free to play games. So because
on phones.
On phones, yes. So the whole reason this began is because big name companies started seeing these small little indie developers making phone apps, phone and games on the phone that were free to play, free to download, and they were making billions of dollars just off of microtransactions, just off of these people spending real money on getting in-game items to boost their gameplay and to take them further in-game.
But the difference that I see of phones versus console is that console, you have us. Phones, you have us, you have grandma, you have grandpa, you have 5-year-old kid, you have 30-year-old, 45-year-old mom, dad. Like, everybody has a damn phone on them, and they all play Candy Crush, whatever the hell games they got. So if you have grandma 75 sitting at home with her phone, she's going to buy stuff. She's not going to be on the console buying these games.
Yeah.
So where the phone hits essentially everybody, the console is only the gamers. Yeah, and that's where they're really taking advantage of.
But the companies want in on that. And
well, I know, I'm saying that's where they're taking advantage of the gamers versus free games.
They're not looking at the demographic. They're just looking at the pure numbers of money.
This is our fault.
But take that right there, right? Like I said, if even 50% of Americans or people around the world have a cell phone that plays that stupid game, all you need is for what? Of those 50%, maybe half of those people spend $10 on microtransactions, and it's going to look at all this money they made because of all these people.
Yeah.
Versus here, it is a much smaller, in comparison, number for what it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're to try and get that same money, the same money back. They're going to start charging extremely high amount for their in-game transactions to try and make that same budget.
But here's why this is becoming such a big thing right now. Because in the mid-2000s, right, when the Xbox 360 came out, when the PS3 came out, there were a very small but vocal group of individuals who complained about the prevalence of DLC. Right, how companies are now charging you for this part of the game, charging you for that part of the game, and then they started saying, oh, well, if you want this, you got to pre-order, and they're locking things behind paywalls. Mm-hmm. And then it came out that the stuff was already finished and on the disc. You just had to pay to have access to it. But people kept paying and kept doing it, so the game companies kept doing it, and they did it more and more and more. And now people are freaking out because they're like, okay, well, 10 years ago the issue was DLC, and look what it's become. Right? And now it's microtransactions. And I gotta tell you, the microtransactions have influenced whether or not I buy games. I had the $100 version of Shadow of War, whatever that version was called, pre-ordered for the Xbox One. I wanted the physical things that came in the box. So I was willing to pay a little bit more because I'm a Tolkien fan. But as soon as it was announced that they had microtransactions in a single-player game, not even a multiplayer game, a single-player game, where they wanted you to buy different things, loot boxes, right? They wanted you to buy these loot boxes so that you could get ahead a little bit more in the game. Instead of getting XP the normal way by going to kill enemies, they made it so it was hard to find enemies, or when you did find an enemy, there was a large group of them so they would kill you. So the XP that you needed to progress was locked behind these loot boxes. I was like, okay, well, I'm not buying this game anymore.
Well,
and I cancel my pre-order.
It would give you it would literally give you orcs from the loot boxes. You would gain orcs that
would give you special abilities.
Yeah, that you couldn't get on your own in the game because they would just destroy you. And at that point, I made my decision that I honestly believe the biggest voice we have as gamers is our wallet. And I was not going to support them for making that decision, so I canceled my pre-order.
So if you were going to pay like $40 extra for the stuff that actually came with, for the token material, like what was included in that?
There was like a cloth,
like stuff from the movies. Or?
No. It was from the game. So it was stuff from the first game. There was like a big cloth map that you could hang on a wall. There was
that's cool as shit.
There was a statue. There were some other things in the $100 version which I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of the physical things that you got, they had a couple of digital things that you would get. And it was, for instance, the costume from the first game for your character. You could have that in the second game. So I was willing to put that money in. But my pre-order got canceled as soon as I found out that for me to be able to actually enjoy the game, I'd have to spend real money in the game.
Alright, so without the microtransactions, it was basically fair value.
I thought so.
Yeah. Because it's essentially the same game as the first one. So...
And I could have bought the $60 version. I didn't have to buy the $100 one with the extra crap in it.
Yeah, the extra crap in it, I mean, still, that's a fair value.
Yeah, I thought so.
Until you heard the microtransactions and said, fuck this game.
Yeah.
Essentially. And it was just because I don't want to support a game where they're going to tell me for me to have a full single-player experience, I have to pay them more than the $60 I was already going to spend, or in this case, $100 I was already going to spend.
Yeah.
And that's what worries me about the microtransactions. And the thing is, I have spent money on microtransactions in the past for games. I think I put $20 into Destiny 2 when I got it because I wanted the Optimacy gear. And I was like, you know what? I can earn this stuff in the game. It's perfectly fine, but I got an extra $20 point card. I'm just going to use it on Destiny 2, and that's what I did.
I mean, that's another thing with Ultimate Team. They have a lot of...
That's how it starts, man.
They have some cosmetic things. Like, it looks like they're trying to balance it out. They had the Color Rush uniforms the NFL's using this year. Expensive as shit. Like $20 real world dollars to get your team the Color Rush uniform. But then every now and then they'll have a special. You get like Walter Payton, Andre Reed, Deion Sanders, and Ed Reed at one time for $5.
Yeah, but that's all cosmetic stuff. So
No. I'm talking about
actual players.
Like they'll throw a deal at you every couple of weeks. Like you get Ed Reed.
Oh, that's for the Ultimate Team?
Like 5 Hall of Famers.
Right.
For $5 real world bucks. But the uniform's $20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's how they get you. All games do that.
Yeah,
and that's,
all games.
That's the thing that worries me personally about the microtransactions, because I've dropped money, like I said, in Destiny 2 and Gears 4. I dropped money because I wanted some of these characters with a certain theme to them. So I bought the box.
Yeah, same thing with me. I spent money on loot boxes in Overwatch. Hearthstone's probably a bad example because it's a free-to-play game, but yeah, I mean, Overwatch, Destiny 2, I did spend money on. It's like $10 to get, more silver. But I mean, like I said, that's all our money that we want to spend on in-game stuff,
and it's all cosmetic.
That's all cosmetic. Doesn't enhance our gameplay. Doesn't make us better than anyone else that does not spend money. That's all fine with me. I don't have any issue with that because that's all your own personal preference. If you have the money to spend it on something that's gonna, make your character look better or something along those lines, that's fine. when it becomes an issue, especially in multiplayer games, is when it becomes a pay-to-win system where real-life money boosts you ahead of other players dramatically.
You can't spend that money.
Yeah.
Call of Duty World War II.
Well, not just that.
Not just that. Battlefront 2 is the main one right now. That's the whole... Yeah, that's really the game that's brought this issue to forefront once again, because the previous system during the beta was literally just a pay-to-win system. You pay money for these loot boxes that will grant you cards, and the ones that you spent money on had a greater chance of getting you these legendary and rare cards that would instantly make your character better than anyone else.
Well, now it's what did I read? It takes 16 hours to unlock a hero.
Yeah.
Normally, or you can just spend the money and unlock it immediately, and now you're better.
Yeah.
And that was their fix to the system.
Yeah. They basically locked it behind a progression system, but the problem is that now you can still spend money to make it quick, to make your progression system quicker.
4 times as fast is what I read. 4 times.
Yeah. So it's like, there's not really that's not much of a change. You're just making it, you're still pay to win. You're just making the pay part a little bit slower, but it's still pay to win.
And so the reason this worries me more than anything else right now in gaming is I loved Red Dead Redemption Online. And all of us sitting in this room played it. We played it together. We put a lot of hours into it. After what they've done to GTA Online, which I still play.
Yeah. GTA Online still fun, but has the same
I still
issue.
play that, but it's now things are so expensive in that game. They make it so you have to buy shark cards, which I haven't done. My extra purchase of GTA came from the fact that I own the disc, the physical disc, and then a year or two ago they put the game digitally, a digital release, gave you the equivalent of $100 shark card if you bought it digitally, and the game was $60. So I bought it digital, and that was, I guess, how I bought my shark card, because I got the $100 shark card for free essentially when buying the game. But I haven't put any other money into GTA Online, and what worries me is the president of the company has come out and said every one of their games moving forward will follow the GTA Online model of microtransactions, which means when we get to Red Dead Redemption, I don't think we're going to be running things to get levels to unlock weapons. I think we're going to have to buy the weapons. I think we're going to have to buy the mounts. I think we're going to have to buy...
Things are going to be stuck behind paywalls. So.
And
you're going to take advantage of all the glitches that first week.
That's as simple as that.
Which, I mean, it stinks. Like, luckily...
especially with, like, buying insurance for my horse.
Take advantage of those glitches, man.
No, that's what's going to have to happen. I mean, when GTA 5 came out on the Xbox 360, the first 2 weeks, there were so many glitches to get your level super high and to earn a lot of money, and a lot of us had to do that. And
billions of dollars.
Then there were people that were modding their consoles and just giving free money away. And I'll tell you, I got a lot of free money, and I bought everything I could in GTA Online. I got a lot of free money. Just people would randomly join rooms and give everybody in the room billions of dollars, and then leave the room so they couldn't get tracked and banned. And every time we would get money, I mean, we were sitting in rooms together. We would just buy every single thing that you could buy.
We were basically part of a huge laundering service on GTA.
But the thing that I regret most is right before they put a stop to that, and they got rid of the money from people's accounts. They went into your actual account and deleted money that you had to reset everyone to 0 to make it even. I was out of town when they made that announcement, and I was not able to do what a lot of my friends did, which was buy an extra garage, fill the garage I already had of 10 cars with the most expensive car at the time, and then fill the secondary garage with the most expensive car at the time. Because once people did that, they waited a month, they sold all of those cars, had almost close to, $50 million again, and
Brilliant.
They couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And if I had been in town, I would have done the same thing, but I wasn't, and I lost all of it.
Yeah.
And it's...
Yeah, it's so stupid. And I really hope... I mean, luckily Rockstar, makes such a good single-player experience that I'm probably still going to end up getting the game. solely because of that.
Yeah, probably. I'm getting Red Dead.
But
ain't no
yeah, man, it does make me really, really scared for the future of, like the online portion of it, which we had so much fun with in the first game.
I mean, I'm buying Red Dead. It's not a question. I'm going to buy it for the single player, but I also know that probably with 99% accuracy, I will not enjoy the multiplayer of Red Dead 2 the way I did in Red Dead Run.
Yeah, simply because it's not going to be the same. It's just not going to be the same because they are going to make it super.
Don't get any ideas, Rockstar.
Yeah, they are going to make it super pay to win, man. Like that's just going to happen. They've even stated recently that hey, Red Dead Online is going to have microtransactions. Let's fucking take it or leave it. So. And
well, right there, I'm leaving it.
Yeah, I mean, we can still enjoy the game. We just want to enjoy the multiplayer. So,
or we can just be super underpowered multiplayers running around, still having Bear Royal Rumbles. It is what
that's all I was gonna say. That's all we need is Bear Royal Rumble.
As long as there's Grizzly Bears,
we'll just create a private room where we're all just trash. Like we create a private room, we're all trash equally, and then we just go and let the Bears attack. All right, so. We spent some time on microtransactions. We're going to get to the last thing that we're going to talk about today, which I know people are very excited about. We're going to talk about guest characters in fighting games, but specifically the huge announcement that was made, I believe, yesterday.
It was 2 days ago, a Friday night for E-League on PBS.
So two nights ago, on Friday, it was announced that the 4 Ninja Turtles will be joining Injustice 2. So... if you ever wanted to see Raphael just punch Batman in the face, you're in luck.
I think everybody wants to see
You are in luck.
If you ever wanted to see, Hellboy fight Leonardo, now we're going to get to see it.
Yeah.
So,
which is fantastic because we're all of us sitting here are huge Ninja Turtle fans. We grew up with Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
We love them. I don't know if I can speak for all of you, but I really wanted to like that horrible, horrible Ninja Turtles fighting game
called the Tournament Fighters?
Smash Up.
No, was it? I thought it was Tournament. There was Tournament Fighters.
I'm talking about the one on the Wii.
Okay.
The last Turtle fighting game we got, which was just horrible. What they did was, I forget the company that made it. What they did was they poached all the people that worked under Sakurai in Smash Brothers Brawl. They took all of them, put them in a room, said, "Now make a Ninja Turtle game." With that functions just like Smash Brothers, but you got to put it out in 6 months. So they did, and it was horrible.
It was terrible, yeah.
And there was so much potential to do so many different things, but you could have the regular look of the Turtles, or you could have the comic look of the Turtles. When they could have had the old TV shows, they could have had the movie skins, they could have had all these different characters, but they didn't have them. And I mean, we're not getting that, but we're getting the 4 Ninja Turtles in a legitimate fighting game.
Yes.
I would like another Tournament Fighter, though.
Yeah, Tournament Fighter was fun.
Tournament
Fighter? That was a great game.
I played it for the Sega. But yeah.
I love
and they also had it for the NES, by the way. If you have it, it's worth lots of money.
And back then, some versions, there's different characters depending on which system you had it for.
Yeah.
Like Armagon was only in one version.
Donatello was super broken in that game. It was so broken.
Well, I mean, Donatello's been broken in lots of games. What about the first Ninja Turtle game for the NES where you could stand on the box and
poke down? Yeah.
Poke Rocksteady in the head and he couldn't even get to you.
Broke. So, no, man, but I think everyone here saw the trailer for it. Just the way nobody saw this coming first.
No.
This is a complete surprise to everyone.
So I saw the trailer after people, because I think you posted something on Facebook about it, and I was like, is this real? Because if so, I have to buy the game. Because I don't own any of the Injustice games.
Well, I think you bought MKX though, right? You definitely bought MKX.
I bought MKX, I got it for Christmas a year or two later, when all the DLC came with it, the Super Edition, so I could be Alien and Predator. Yeah, that had to happen.
Okay.
So,
and Jason.
Yeah. So, but then when you saw that with the Turtles, I'm like, all right, I have to get this. But then I watched the trailer, and I'm like, one question comes to mind. Is it going to be one turtle with 4 different skins? The same way the Predator and Mortal Kombat?
That is the question.
4 different styles.
That is the question. We don't know yet.
Because don't makes me wonder that, because in the trailer, they're like, oh, we fight together.
We fight as one, yeah.
Yeah, we fight as one.
We fight as one.
So I was like, obviously not going to in the game. You're not going to be able to control all 4 turtles.
Here's what I think.
Or it's going to be like Marvel vs. Legends style, where you can call in the other one and swap out.
Here's what I think it's going to be. I do think all 4 turtles are going to be one character. So they're basically going to have like kind of like a tag mechanic, sort of, where maybe doing certain combos will call in a different turtle. Or in Injustice, there's the way the fighting system works is every character in the game has what's called a trait. So, for example, like Supergirl, her trait are like eye lasers, like she can shoot eye lasers. Sub-Zero's trait is he does his ice clone. They all have these different traits. I think that the turtle's trait is going to be calling in whatever turtle you want. So I think you just hit the trait button and you'll swap in maybe Michelangelo, maybe Donatello, whoever. So, and they're all going to have completely different play styles, and because I really don't think they're going to be all separate characters. I don't think that would make a whole lot of sense.
I think that would be the best way to do
it. Although cool. That would be, for me, like Mr. said, I think that would be the best, because then you could, if you want, you can have turtle versus turtle.
Yeah.
And you know damn well you do that.
Well, you can still have turtle versus turtle. It'll just be all 4 against all 4. So obviously it wouldn't be the same, but I do think that especially with how it was worded in the trailer, where Leonardo was like, he was like, no, Mike, we all fight as one.
Yeah.
And so that is like I think that's a big hint that they're all going to be just one character. Because here's the thing, is that there's a gear system in Injustice 2, which is one of the best aspects of the game, is that you, like, there's, which also, this game has microtransactions.
Bitch.
So,
yeah.
Wait.
Also, this game has microtransactions, there's loot boxes, but it's all cosmetic.
Stop for a second and rewind this when you're listening to it, because you said that is one of the best aspects of the game. It's microtransactions. Just remember that.
That's not one of the best aspects of the game, but the gear system is. So, because you can have customizable gear, so you can customize any character in the game however you want, whatever you want. So it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of loot that they have, like what kind of loot the turtles have. So, because obviously in the trailer, they just, this base form, like how we all know the turtles. So, it's gonna be really cool to see maybe if they have like some of the gear from like maybe the movies or something like that. I don't know.
So after seeing the trailer, the first thing obviously I'm excited was the fact that I'll be able to be a turtle and fight all these DC people.
Yeah, Superman, right? Who are like, dude, Superman against like Raphael.
Well, especially since recently in the comics they actually had a crossover of Turtles and Batman also.
Right.
Where they did a whole
I think they've done like multiple crossovers of them.
With Turtles and Batman. There was a couple runs of it. There was one where they actually in the original Batman animated series art style, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I was like, man, I really look forward to like those little cutscenes of like when the opponents are coming near each other and they talk shit. I want to see what the hell Turtles are going to say.
Yeah, that's
or what they're going to say about
true.
These Turtles.
Yeah, Injustice has clash quotes. The intros are all going to be different.
One of the things that I'm excited for is I really hope they have a Ninja Turtle level like a sewer or
that's a good point.
Or something. Like, I want to see a Ninja Turtle level where maybe Casey Jones and April are in the background, or maybe the foot soldiers are running through and looting. Like,
yeah, because there's interactables for the stage too.
Yeah.
So it's possible that like maybe they get like one of like the
but if there's
drains and
like
throw it in them.
If there is an interacting level, whatever turtle level, I feel like you'd have to have in the back like Dimension X coming through somehow.
Well, see,
Technodrome maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know, because one of the things that I liked about the trailer was it was very clearly the movie style Turtles. You have Raphael
like the live action movies. The live action movies.
Yeah, like with the trench coat.
Yeah.
He throws the sigh. The way that he talked, voice sound.
You mean that wasn't Undercover Don?
Yeah. Yeah. So the voice sounded very much like the Raph in the first Turtles movie, the original 1990 TMNT movie,
which is awesome. That's another aspect of the trailer.
I don't know that we'll see a Dimension X. I don't know that we'll see a Technodrome. Right?
I'm just thinking for like the art style.
It could be possible for their super move, because remember every character in the game has a super move.
Okay.
So it's very possible that we can have maybe Shredder comes out.
I'm just thinking like would just look cool from the background. In the back, like like a portal with Dimension X, you see like the Technodrome in the back. Like just something that would be appealing to the eye something like that.
I think with the over the top style of the super moves in the game, it's entirely possible that that's going to happen. That we'll see even like the turtle van or something like that.
That would be awesome. Turtle van runs over your opponent.
Yeah, because I mean, Batman runs over the opponent with the Batmobile. So
the only thing that was a little disappointing, and it sucks that it's disappointing because it's not their fault. But when I saw the 4 turtles, I thought to myself, why did they not announce a Shredder? Like, imagine a turtle versus Shredder match.
Yeah.
You already have the turtles. You might as well have Shredder. I don't understand why you don't.
Well, because this is the same company that does Mortal Kombat now, right?
Yeah, it's
all the same thing?
Right.
With Mortal Kombat, they had Alien and Predator that eventually came out.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't they have, like, an extra thing with the skin where you get Dylan? Not Dylan. Dylan. Jax turns into Dylan.
Oh, yeah. No,
like an extra skin.
Yeah, no, that was an Easter egg. Oh, no, that's just true. Yeah, no, Jax did have a Carl Weathers skin. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, he did.
So there's no reason why they just haven't announced it that they don't have a skin
for
somebody like
very
Doomsday
possible.
or whoever.
Yeah, because they have in the
game.
They have premier skins that turn your character into a different character. Like Superman has a Bizarro skin.
Okay.
And Raiden has a Black Lightning skin. So it's very possible that one of maybe I don't know, maybe like who's like a sword character. Maybe like Robin, he might have like a Shredder premier skin or something like that. That would be cool. That would make sense actually with Robin because he's got like his like Batarang thing. He's got a sword, so it makes sense. It's very possible that we could still have Shredder in the game as a premier skin. So that's entirely possible. But yeah, I mean, just in general,
sweet.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
All of a sudden, nobody plays anybody but the Turtles.
It's just gonna be Turtles 2. That's all it's gonna be.
But then all that will do is make me want another Ninja Turtle tournament fighter.
Yeah.
Updated tournament fighter.
Yeah. Well, that's
Turtles has such a wide variety of characters. You have such an awesome fighting game.
Awesome cast for Turtles fighting for sure. 100%.
Go through the Archie comics, just grab all the awesome characters.
I mean, what's the most exciting aspect of this is just the fact that we get to play as a Teenage Ninja Turtles in a pure fighting game, which we haven't had in a really long time.
No.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to be super cool. Like, I can't wait to play that shit with you guys because that's going to be super, super fun. Just playing as the Turtles. I know we're going to have like, it's just going to be like, we're going to ignore like the entire like huge roster of like DC superheroes. It's going to be Turtles against Turtles.
Hey, what game are we playing? Turtle Fighter.
It's like Turtles.
That one. Don't worry about it.
Who's this? Batman? Nah, I don't
Why is there a bat signal in the background? I don't know.
Whatever.
They had a crossover. It's alright.
I don't know. They're touring the planet. What do you want?
But I mean, like NetherRealm in general, they have a track record of introducing guest characters in the games. It started really with I think Mortal Kombat 2011 when they first introduced Freddy. Yeah. So they do have a track record. It's kind of hit or miss. Some people, don't like them having all these guest characters. It was especially prevalent in MKX, where they had 4 different guest characters, which I was personally a fan of. I loved playing as Alien. Alien was one of my best. I was considered one of the best aliens in the country. So I loved playing that game.
Like, what does it matter? Like, just don't download them then. If you don't want to play as them, don't play as them.
Well, I think in the MK universe, it's not as big a deal. But you remember in DC universe, there's all these purists that play the game, and they're like, "Oh, we only want DC in the game," which I kind of agree with to a point.
But you tell them to eat a dick on that.
Yeah, like for example,
you got comic books. Like, fine, you want to do that? Fine, okay. The Turtles have been with Batman in the comics. Yeah. Cool. I imagine if you look, you can find a Hellboy DC crossover.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be so much. People weren't so much upset at like Hellboy being in the game as they were upset with Sub-Zero and Raiden being in the game.
That to me only makes sense because obviously you had Mortal Kombat versus DC.
Yeah, and it's Mortal Kombat developer, which is fine. But you have such a huge universe to pick from in the DC universe.
No, I get that. I'm saying, but those worlds had collided in a game at one point. So it makes sense that they would come. I can see it was just like some random ass character from another game you've never seen.
Yeah. I mean,
so they're back in the GameCube era, they had the Marvel versus the
Capcom?
No. You bought the game, and
I did not.
You
Lies.
did. It was a fighting game where
Marvel
the
vs. Capcom.
characters looked realistic. No, it wasn't cartoon. Where they were fighting these new characters that they created, Marvel vs. Nemesis or Marvel Nemesis or something.
That's right.
And it was a fighting game. But it was like, okay, if you're going to make a Marvel fighting game with all these Marvel characters, why are you creating these characters that have no backstory? They're crappy. They all look the same. Instead of just using the Marvel villains.
Yeah.
Like, why do that? You have the Marvel villains in the
Right,
story,
no, see, that's
but the
what-
Marvel villains always run away and put these things in to fight you. What's the purpose of this?
No, exactly, because you have these random things. That's what I'm saying. Like, Sub-Zero and Raiden, that at least they all collided at one point throughout the history of Mortal Kombat and DC.
Right.
And Turtles, they've crossed over with Batman. It's like, that all makes sense why they can do that. I understand if they just pull like, oh, here's so-and-so from this game.
There's
oh, here's Link. Like, okay,
there's still
doing
like,
here?
even after the Turtles were announced, which blows my mind, because it's like, how can you be negative about that? That's amazing. So I don't care who you are. If you love Turtles, most people love Turtles when they were kids.
If you don't like Turtles,
So-
I don't trust you.
But yeah, but here's the thing. So many people were like, "Oh, I can't wait for it to be Spawn," or "I want it to be Constantine," or like any of these other DC characters, which is fine. I understand if you're disappointed because the character that you wanted is not in there, but don't come at me and say, "Oh, the Turtles is a waste of a slot," because so many people are like against you on that.
Yeah.
See, that it's like,
if somebody told me that, Turtles was a waste of a slot, that's where I respond with, you're a waste of life.
yeah,
Like,
I'd be
how
like, well,
can you think that?
you're a waste of DNA, so please leave. So
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, I think guest characters in fighting games are a good idea as long as they fit what you are doing.
yeah,
So when people, and again, I'm not really into fighting games a lot. I don't play a lot of them, but
Just
when
we
people,
gotta start wrapping. It's an hour and a half.
when people were complaining about Scorpion in Injustice, the complaints that I heard had nothing to do with the character and everything to do with the fact that the character was just broken.
yeah, he was
You can have somebody that's never played a Scorpion before go in and just wreck people that
because
play
you just
Injustice all
teleport
the time.
all the that has a lot to do with the game mechanics of Injustice, because you're putting in, because Injustice is primarily a hold back to block game like Street Fighter, and then you put in a character who's designed in a game with a block button in that game, and it just did not work out well at all because people were just getting hit by everything because they couldn't block the character. So yeah, it was primarily a game mechanics flaw when Scorpion came out. But then they ended up like nerfing him and fixing it. So
But I mean,
it was not
that
like
was the complaint that I heard. It
Yeah,
wasn't
it-
like,
no,
oh
that-
my
that
God,
was-
you have Scorpion in
that was
in
but
DC.
but in Injustice 2, what happened was the primary was like everybody was upset about Scorpion when he first came out, and everybody was upset about Raiden when he came out because they're like, oh, they're taking up 2 slots of a DC character that could be in the game. I'm like, well, I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, it's like Mortal Kombat, like NetherRealm. It's Ed Boon who's at the helm of this. Mortal Kombat is his baby.
If you think they're not going to show up, then you're not paying attention.
Yeah, he's gonna, and he loves having guest characters in games. So it's like, it's gonna happen. I've kind of come to terms with it, especially after MKX, because all of the guest characters in MKX were awesome. So, I mean, you had Jason, you had Leatherface, you had Predator and Alien, who were just like amazing. And I've wanted a Predator in, an MK game since like MK 2011.
Yeah.
So, like, ever since they introduced Freddy Krueger, I was like, dude, how awesome would it be? I had conversations with Chris even before MKX came out. I was like, wouldn't it be awesome if Predator was in Mortal Kombat? It fits perfectly. So, and then like a lot of the characters from Mortal Kombat are based off of Predator. Like, Reptile can turn invisible, just like Predator. Cyrax is an ant, just like Predator. Like, all these other stuff, it was all influenced by Predator. So it made sense. But, I think for future content, especially when it comes for like Injustice 2, I think they're pretty much just going to follow the same formula of like 2 characters from the universe, 1 guest character. And I think that's pretty much how it's always going to be from now on. So
I don't know. I really want the Turtles to be 4 separate characters, but like you said, I don't think it's going to happen.
It's
I
fine.
want it to be that way because the Turtles fight differently.
Yeah.
Like Leonardo and
Yeah.
Michelangelo. Well, Leonardo and Donatello are more offensive. Michelangelo and Raphael are more defensive.
Well, no, that's why I said if anything, it'll be like they did in Mortal Kombat. Because like in Mortal Kombat, if you pick the Predator,
variations,
you had 3 different fighting styles to pick.
Yeah, but Injustice 2 is not the same. It's not the same. It doesn't work the same as that. There's no variations, unfortunately. So, but like I said, it's still very possible that we're going to be able to play as 4 separate ones if they're all, if you can switch them with the trait. So if you can switch them with the trait, then if you just want to play as like Leonardo, just don't hit the trait button. You just play as Leonardo the whole time. So yeah, I think that's how it's going to work. But like I said, we don't know until we see actual gameplay footage of them.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, so we'll see soon once they start doing the live streams of the characters. So.
When some Cuban guy and I talked about this earlier this morning, he's like, "Well, what do you think?" And my response to him was, "Well, that's enough to get me to buy the game. And
Yeah,
nothing
sure.
else. Nothing else got me to say that."
Look, I don't even own the game because I'm not a fan of Injustice. But as soon as I heard this announcement, I'm getting this game.
Yeah.
So
I gotta buy it now.
Yeah, like I'm getting this game now. Congrats, Ed Boon. You got me to buy the game after a year and a half
of
of
the game.
$60.
It's
Well,
60.
they just made $60 times 5.
Yeah,
Hey, no, I'm waiting till Black Friday to get on sale.
Whatever. They just sold 5 more copies.
He's just gonna come. He's just gonna come to one of our houses and play.
Congrats, Ed Boon. You got me to buy your game after a year of me not wanting to get it at all and staying away from it and staying away from the competitive scene. Congrats.
One 50-second trailer changes everything.
Will you go back?
But that 50-second trailer had Raphael, Leonardo, Donatello, and Michelangelo.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct.
But will you get back into the fighting scene with this?
That remains to be seen.
Oh, okay.
That remains. If I become good enough with the turtles, you goddamn right I am. I'm gonna be botting people left and right. I'm gonna bring pizza to every tournament and just eat it on stream while I'm playing. That's what's gonna happen.
He's gonna be wearing a bandana too.
Yeah. Yep.
Or you should just dress up like Casey Jones. You just had the hockey mask while you play. Don't say shit to anybody.
That would only make sense if Casey Jones was a playable character.
Next announcent, Casey Jones.
Casey Jones Shredder. It's just gonna be all Turtles DLC.
And it would be fun.
From this point forward.
Bebop, Rocksteady, and Shredder.
I would
Combat Pack 4.
I would be okay with all that.
That'd be amazing.
Oh my gosh.
From this point forward, it's just Injustice 2 / Ninja Turtles.
Turtles Edition.
Oh my god.
All right, so on that note, we got anything else, guys?
No, I think we should wrap it up. This has been a
that was a good conclusion.
Yeah.
for our podcast.
Hey, if y'all want the Blooper Tips podcast, take out your credit card and give us $15. Microtransactions, booyah.
Yo, no, we're not doing none of this.
No,
we're not getting on the microtransaction train.
No, there is actually a world in the podcast world where people pay so much a month, something like $1, $2, but if they pay like $5 a month, they get access to all the extra features.
All right, well,
in podcasts.
well, okay. So if you guys give us $5, Che will come over your house and wash your car. How's that? Lil Haiti will come over.
Actually, that can be arranged.
Give us $5, Lil Haiti will come over and wash your car.
That can be arranged. So you make a phone call.
Well, contact us on Facebook with details on how to get a little Haiti to wash your car, and we will continue from there. And on that note, this is Weezy signing out.
Some Cuban guy. See you later, guys.
It's Little Haiti. Peace out.
Enforcer, have a good day.
Mr. Psycho, thanks for listening.
All right, guys, see you later.
Please don't sue us. We broke.